Welcome to the State of the City Show. I'm Georgia Clemson, and I have two of the most wonderful, important men in the city of Grand Prairie here today. We have Mayor Ron Jensen and our city manager, Tom Hart. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
So glad to have you. And Mayor, you've been mayor for 3 years now.
My goodness, how time flies when you're having fun.
How time flies. And it looks like 3 more, correct?
I'm running unopposed. I'm so excited. Friday at 5 o'clock, Miss DiMaggio called me and said no one signed up, so
Good
I celebrated.
News.
Rebecca and I
Yes.
celebrated Friday night.
That's great news. And everyone is so excited about what's going on in Grand Prairie. Can you give us just a little review of some of the exciting things that have happened in Grand Prairie in 2015?
Well, there's a lot of things that happened in Grand Prairie in 2015. You know, we have housing starts are up. We have a lot of apartments under construction, a lot of commercial space. We're leading the Metroplex in commercial space. However, we would be doing those in this economy. Those are normal. What's really exciting is the George Bush Turnpike opened up hundreds of acres for development. 3 years ago, I said it was going to open up 600 acres along the I-20 161 corridor. And last year, we were able to announce our first major anchor that we all dreamed about, IKEA. A little less than 300,000 square foot IKEA retail come into that as the anchor in that area. So housing starts are great. We love people moving into our community, but the land that's developable around IKEA and the type of developments that follow a huge anchor like IKEA is going to change the complexion and the future of Grand Prairie forever. So that's what I'm really excited about.
It is exciting. And also we have something new with Fire Station 10, correct?
Fire Station 10, but I mean it's kind of hidden in all the excitement of the IKEA, but it does give us our far deep south coverage, and we think it'll help reduce our fire rates out there. It's a beautiful facility. Those of you who live out on the peninsula, it's a gorgeous facility, nautical theme, so we can't wait to get it open here pretty soon.
Yes. Well, why don't we let's direct this as Tom. We've had such a challenge this year with our lake properties, with the weather, etc. Can you give us an update on the lake, Joe Pool area?
Well, you're exactly right. It has been a challenge this year. It's caused lots of issues. We're still dealing with some stormwater issues that we got during that storm event that surged into the TRA system. So we're working on that. We had the greatest impact was initially to the Prairie Lights, but I've got to tell you, and you guys know this, but let me tell everybody, watching how our Public Works Department partnered with our Parks Department, and they rerouted that and got that back open within literally a day. The park wasn't at 100%, but it was still magnificent and still ended up being a great show for people coming into Grand Prairie. But it just shows what can happen when you got a great team working together. So the lake gave us the challenges. I mean, we felt so sorry for the Oasis. It hurt them immensely. Fortunately, they're getting back open, and they're going to be better than ever, so we're excited about that. Our lake parks are now back booming. We opened our new cabin, I don't even know what you want to call it. The Lodge, yes. We put cabins out there a few years ago at the lake for people that maybe didn't have tents or trailers, and they were immensely successful. So now we've gone back and added a lodge. It's got some hotel type rooms. It's got kind of a large house type unit that is just ideal for large groups, like say a family reunion, those type of things. That is going to become a real asset. And people that have never been out to Lloyd Park, and I'm sure we have a lot of folks that haven't, don't realize they're in the middle of the Metroplex because you think you're out in the country. It is so beautiful. You feel so isolated, but yet you're just right there off of 360. So that lake is a tremendous asset. It's bringing in hundreds of thousands of people into our community each year. It's giving our citizens recreation. You've heard me say this, Mayor. We have, over the last few years, enjoyed taking our granddaughter down to Lynn Creek Park late in the afternoon and letting her play on the beach. You know, she had just as good a time as if we'd have taken her to Hawaii. So,
Very good.
and that's free to our citizens.
It is. It's such a wonderful facility. Mayor, back to you. You are our expert on transportation. Tell us what your official office is with transportation this year, and also some of the things going on with transportation in Grand Prairie.
Of course, I'm the chair of the RTC Regional Transportation Council, 42-member board, and so I'm the vice chair and will take over the chairmanship this July.
Yes.
It's mid-year, so I'll
Yes.
get the gavel then. It's a great group. I love working with the people on it. So let's talk about transportation. As I said, the 161 opening up brought us access to lots of acreage, but there's some other things that is opening up. We're fixing to have frontage roads along I-30 and I-20. You don't really think about it, but we don't have frontage roads on I-20 and I-30 all the way through town, and we don't have the development along those two highways as our neighbors do. They have frontage roads, and you have to have the frontage roads to have development. We're fixing to break ground on the frontage roads on I-30 and I-20. So that's going to free up a lot of acreage in a prime time for development. 360. We just did a ribbon cutting for 360 heading down south to 287. So you think 360, oh, that goes down to Mansfield, Midlothian, Kennedale, Arlington. However, it opens up about 3,000 acres of developable land that we've already had developers come in and talk to us about. So that's huge for us. We want to get out of the box and be the first one to get some infrastructure in down there so we can attract great businesses. So that's another transportation. It's kind of like a baseball saying, you build it, they will come. When you build transportation arteries, big highways, frontage roads, people will come and developers will come. We have a lot of other infrastructure roads we're fixing to, those of you that live out south and go over to 1382 via Camp Wisdom. You know, it's a really nice 4-lane divided for a while, and then it goes down to 2-lane bumpy, hilly. You can't hardly drive 30 miles an hour. Your wheels will fall off. It's been a struggle because a lot of it's not in the city of Grand Prairie, but we teamed with Dallas County, and then we put in a lot of money, so we're fixing to break ground, and that will be finished all the way over to 1382, give us a better access, east-west access for people that need to get out, because you can't go, it's not easy. When I-20's backed up, you don't have an easy way to get around, so that'll give us another east-west access. So we just broke ground on MacArthur Boulevard from I-30 all the way up to where Irving has already completed theirs, so that'll be a good connector. So just a lot of things going on right now in transportation.
Right, and the wildlife area.
Yes.
When will we start
I don't
that?
know. I don't know when we're
I
going to
can't
start
remember.
that. It connects Beltline all the way over to 161. Again, it'll be another east-west connector, Wildlife Parkway, and it's on the books, already funded, so that'll be starting pretty soon. I'd have to read it off the sheet exactly when.
Right, I'm not sure myself, but I know it's
But it is a
soon.
good one.
Yes, very good. You talked about a few groundbreakings. What do you think about the biggest groundbreaking we had out on 161 recently? And you and Rebecca had your picture made, said the Epic.
Well, the Epic is epic. There was a big party, groundbreaking in October, and it was a lot of fun. We had the big sign there. We've delayed the opening of it. It's not going to open up until the latter part of 2017, which will be the same time that IKEA opens up. And so it's amazing. And if you haven't seen the video of the Epic, the 13-minute video, you need to go on our website at gptx.org or the parks website and find the video showing you what the Epic's going to be like. It's going to be better than anything you've ever imagined or ever seen before. The recreational center, the water park, and the Play Grand Adventure, all-inclusive play park.
That is very exciting, and I know our viewers like to hear what's happening downtown in Grand Prairie. Do we have anything new going on down there?
You bet. After months of talking to different restaurateurs, we have picked a restaurant. It's called F&G Eats. You can Google them. They're very well known, very well respected chefs. F&G Eats has one location right now in Keller, and we have signed an agreement with them to move into the fire station number 1. They'll be open up in November of this year, and it's going to be a great.
And I know our viewers are very interested in the safety of our city. And I believe we got recognized as the 10th. Did we move up this year?
We got recognized as the 10th safest city. And, you know, when somebody says the 10th, it really doesn't mean anything to me. It may be 10 out of 11. But I think the data shows us 10 out of 37 of the cities over 100,000 population. So that's no small task, being 10th. We're an older first-ring city, and for us to continue to reduce our crime rate's down 42% over the last number of years. And again, we were ranked 10th safest city out of 37 in the state of Texas.
And Chief Steve Dye keeps heading us in that direction, doesn't he?
Yes, we have two great chiefs, Chief Dye of the police department, Chief Fight of the fire department, keeping us, our employees' morale up, keeping them working, energized, and keeping our city safe. Let's talk about the fire department for a minute.
Let's do.
They won the gold medal, Gold Heart Award, and okay, there again. What does that mean? There's only 5 cities in the whole Metroplex that have achieved that, and the other 4 cities have a heart hospital in their city, and we don't. You have to be able to get your heart patients to the hospital within a certain amount of time, ready to go in for whatever they need done. The monitors on them, they're talking to the hospital on the way. So our fire department, our EMS, received that gold standard accreditation last year. That is huge for the citizens of our city. 1 of 5 in the Metroplex.
That is huge. Now, as far as just personally, as far as the accomplishments, do you have something, each one of you, that you felt was, I know that, Mayor, you've done so much as far as cycling with the mayor, all of your activities. Is there one that was your favorite?
There wasn't any one that was my favorite, but what I like is all of them together. The strolling with the mayor, the cycling with the mayor, the community tables. I wanted to give the citizens of Grand Prairie a sense of connection, be able that Tom and I, my fellow council members, you, Georgia, we're really just, I may be mayor, and you may be deputy mayor pro tem, but you and I grew up here. We love this city. We're just like you. We love this city. We want to reach out to you. We're very approachable, and so that's what I've loved everywhere I've gone. And the things I've started, people have embraced it, and they find that, you know, hey, they are approachable, and it gets people talking and feeling good about the city. That's the main thing. I want people to feel good about living here.
Absolutely. And Mr. Hart, as city manager, what has been your greatest challenge for 2015, and what are you looking forward to for 2016?
Greatest challenge for 15. You know, we went into 15 starting out really a pretty good year, and I mean, we were seeing the uptick back in the economy, thank goodness. One of the things we've preached about was trying to get our home values up, and you know, we started a campaign that I hope everybody's hearing and seeing, where we're trying to reintroduce Grand Prairie to the Metroplex. We're trying to reintroduce it to even some of our own residents that have lived here a long time, because we're not the Grand Prairie of old. We're a new Grand Prairie. And we've still embraced the downtown, as you mentioned. We're still putting investment down there, like the restaurant the mayor mentioned, and, you know, improving the facade. So we're not forgetting, you know, that historical part of our community. But Grand Prairie's got a whole new story that we're telling, and you're starting to hear it. The roads are coming in. The businesses, high-profile businesses, are coming in. But then from an operational standpoint, for a city manager, when I hear the mayor talking about things like crime down, morale up with our organization, those are the things that, you know, mean so much to me. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a member of the city council, and our city council puts a lot of time in, or you're one of our employees, we all have the same mission, and that is service to our citizens. And I think everybody's committed to that. And I think in 2015, I think we were hitting on every cylinder. I think we're giving high-level service. And now in 16, we start moving into some things that I think are going to really put some icing on the cake. The economic development activity, the EPIC, and those kind of functions. I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of this council. There's been some great leadership come out of those groups that have pushed this city to become what I truly believe is going to be one of the most recognized cities in the country. It's going to be a place people are proud to live, have a business, and our employees are going to be proud to work. So probably more than you wanted.
No,
But
that's great.
But before I forget, I do have to mention one thing, talking about projects in 15, because I got a feeling your mother's watching this show from somewhere, and there's one project on there she thought a lot about.
Campion
Yes,
Trail?
and that was
That's
that
right.
Lone Star Campion Trail.
We got to talk about that one. I
Oh,
mean,
it's great. And my first bike ride's going to be starting at Campion Trail.
Yeah.
And
So,
just brief history, that was something that Mother had worked on throughout several years. And then like the Tuesday before she went to heaven, she looked down at the council meeting briefing and said, "Gentlemen, now if I should go to heaven, I want you to make sure you complete that project."
Yes, you do.
I think she was looking straight at me when she said that. She was saying, "Mr. Mayor, you got to get this completed."
You felt the heat anyway.
Well, you did.
You were there.
Yes, I was there. And so it was a wonderful day to be able to be there and to see that come to fruition.
You bet.
A real blessing.
Well, she'd have been proud of that. We've got to throw one of the other items from 2015. We got another AAA rating on our bonds
You
out
bet.
of our bond raters on our utility side. That ought to be something that most people say, well, what does that mean?
Right.
Because they really don't know. But what it means is that they're living in a city that is being given the highest credit rating that you can get, which says that the city is financially being run prudently, good management practices, good council leadership, good staff leadership, which gives us the lowest borrowing capability when we build these roads and projects. So
A very important point.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up. And Mayor, back to a few of your activities. I know you love being in the school district, participating with the kids, encouraging them, building them up. Even though it's not run by the city, GPISD is headed up with Dr. Susan Hull. Could you just give us a brief update on that, because they are headed in the right direction?
No city can be considered to be a great city unless it has a great school district. And in years past, ours maybe didn't.
What you can do is you pick a story.
Wasn't thought of that highly, but Dr. Hull has come in and had full support of the board and taken us in a direction where other cities around the Metroplex talk about us and envy us and copy us. So yes, we have over 800 students transfer into GPISD now. So it's a piece of the puzzle that makes us great, and I'm so proud that we've been able to keep Dr. Hull here for as long as we have. And I think we all are, and the school district is very, very important to the citizens of Grand Prairie. And you're right, I love going to schools. I love reading. Elementary is my favorite, but I love getting out amongst the kids.
Now, we've talked about 2015. Do you have anything you would like to share about your future goals for 2016?
Well, the future goals for me will be to capitalize on the opportunities that IKEA and the new frontage roads are going to going to make happen. Most of that will not happen in 2016. However, what will happen, you'll see some movement on land. We've already had a developer, not a speculator, a developer buy up most of the acreage available around IKEA to develop on his own. So he's that confident in it. They won't start the development on it until IKEA starts up, because IKEA is the big traffic draw. So they're not going to put a box another big box isn't going to go in until IKEA opens. So we won't see development in and around IKEA until I'm saying 2018, 2019. Let's fast forward 3 years from today. The view of what we're going to see out there 3 years from today will be drastically different than it is today. The Epic will be open, IKEA will be open, and a lot of restaurants and retail around it. So 3 years ago, I was running for office, and I stood out on that land right next to where Restoration Hardware was going up. It was going up in the background, and I said, "Look, 3 years from now, we're gonna know what the George Bush opening means to us." We're at that point now, and we are knowing because IKEA's come. I'm telling you, 3 years from today, we'll be able to eat in restaurants and shop at retail centers in and around IKEA.
And that's good news for us,
good news.
isn't it? Either one of you have anything else you'd like to sum up before we start to wrap up?
I just want to say that I think it's our time. Years ago, the Rangers used that as their slogan the first time they made it to the World Series. And it was mainly because those of us that grew up as Ranger fans always felt like, hey, we loved them, but that something would happen. Their pitching would falter. They lose this, they lose that. But that year that they went to the World Series, even though they didn't win it, they went to the World Series, and everybody said, it's our time. I feel that way about the citizens of Grand Prairie. Georgia, we've been here. We haven't been thought of highly as we thought we should in years past, but now we are. As Mr. Hart says, it's our time.
The best is yet to come. I like the way that sounds too, for Grand Prairie. And I like the fact that the people of Grand Prairie are so special. I think the people are what put the grand in Grand Prairie.
You bet.
So glad to have you all today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And thank you all for joining us. It is a great time to live in Grand Prairie.